This is Representative Matt Clayman checking in from my office in Juneau. As we work to address Alaska's financial challenges, we need a responsible action plan for Alaska. And the discussions all come back to the same topic: protecting the permanent fund and whether we can afford to pay a dividend this year. Here's what we know already. Governor Mike Dunleavy is proposing a $5,000 dividend this year, but to pay that dividend, the governor wants us to break the law that limits how much we can withdraw from the earnings reserve. Breaking that law, Alaska Statute 37.13.140, which is designed to protect the permanent fund from free spending legislators, would damage the permanent fund, Alaska's last and largest savings account. Governor Dunleavy's budget proposal is going to require Alaskans to choose between paying more taxes and receiving a dividend. Now, some folks like to say that permanent fund dividends are guaranteed in the Alaska Constitution. In fact, we amended the Alaska Constitution to create the permanent fund, but that amendment says nothing about a dividend. Here's the rest of the story about the permanent fund and our Constitution. Governor Jay Hammond proposed the permanent fund in the 1970s as a way to save oil money for future generations and get ready for the day when Alaska could no longer rely on oil taxes alone. In 1976, Alaskans voted to establish the permanent fund, a state savings account where we deposit 25% of all oil royalties. Tom Fink, who later served as Anchorage mayor, wrote the official opposition to the constitutional amendment. He thought we should spend the oil money building schools, roads, and docks. In the official support for the amendment, the Alaska Chamber of Commerce believed the permanent fund should provide a business-like approach to meeting community needs. The voters strongly supported the permanent fund amendment. The amendment itself never uses the word dividend. Dividends came later in 1980 as a way to engage the public in decisions about the permanent fund. Unlike the constitutional amendment, the statute establishing dividends led to a lawsuit brought by West Anchorage residents Ron and Penny Zobel. It went all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and it changed how we pay dividends. Ever since the legislature created the dividend, Alaskans have actively debated many different parts of the program. Those debates continue today. Fortunately, the Alaska Supreme Court has reminded us that the dividend program must compete for annual state funding just as other state programs. As we respectfully continue those debates, it's good to keep in mind that the Alaska Constitution does not guarantee a dividend.